What's up? What's up? I am currently heading over to a job site. It's a basement finish in a neighborhood I've worked many times. And I'm actually gonna walk over. We started framing a couple days ago. I'm gonna go inspect what we've got so far. I'm actually gonna walk through with my construction supervisor and walk him through what we might be missing for get ready for inspections. We're not anywhere near there, but I just want to kind of stay ahead of it and make sure that he's got everything we need. And I'm going to assess, hopefully we don't have any issues we have to worry about, and then kind of walk through next steps. So once framing's done, we're going to start doing our underground plumbing and electrical and mechanical. Electrical is usually last in those three. So I just want to make sure everything's moving along smoothly. We're gonna take a peek at that, and I'll walk you guys through things that I look for while I'm there. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of focus on the drive in here. It's starting to snow again, and although we're in the middle of spring, well, beginning of spring technically, it's still cold and snowy in Colorado. That's just the way it goes. All right, so we'll be there in a few minutes. Okay, Angel's learning about fire blocking, which is an important concept. So fire blocking, okay, every 10 feet from a given point.
Okay.
And so like I was saying, you want to make sure, just pick a point and start going every 10 feet, okay? And then once you make your block, put an X, and then yeah, it's gonna run all the way up to your plate, okay?
Okay, up to the top plate?
Up to the top plate, up to the top plate, yeah. Okay. So run this all the way to the top plate, just because it's gonna be overkill. This is gonna have fire blocking too. So in anything that we have a drop ceiling on needs fire blocking, and you wanna make sure you block, because in Colorado we have floated walls, right? With our 1.5 to 2 inch void.
All right.
I just put insulation in here.
Okay.
A little strip of insulation all the way down.
Strip and insulation.
Yep.
All right.
So that blocks all the way up, and then you have to have draft stopping at that plate, right? So because we have a gap behind the wall in here.
Okay.
And that's just insulation too. So you just want to go in and just anywhere where there's a gap between the framing and your top plate, just put insulation.
Okay.
And if you just want to, even if you want to just go to Home Depot to get it, it's cool. Just go get the Safe and Sound.
Okay.
Or you can go to Lowe's and get the rock wool, which I like better.
Okay.
And it's actually really, it's a good price.
Okay.
So you just get a couple rolls of that.
We're supposed to put insulation for a soundproof.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna, that's fine.
And the ceiling.
Yep. So that Safe and Sound is good for rock wool. Yep. And then yeah, so then you can run that all the way into your to your block behind.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're still gonna want to see it here because in theory this can come loose. Okay. All your trades get out of here, and then you can come back in, because yeah, you're gonna have the one thing I usually do ahead of time though, since electrical is usually last, you'll have do the blocks first here. Yep.
Right.
Yep. And then everything, that's why I use insulation, because I can get around all the other stuff.
And the end.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that way we don't have to go through the cables or plumbing pipes or stuff like that.
Exactly. And then with your drop ceilings, you can do it two ways. You can put OSB here on this part, or you can put insulation on the other side, which is the block. So it's keeping fire from coming down, and everything burns from down here. It's keeping it from getting up into that void, right?
Okay, what if we put insulation all the way up here?
They still want this has to be protected in this box. Okay. So it's got to be closer to this end.
So it'll be better if we put nothing on all the way up in the ceiling, and then insulation.
And then right on top of this, all the way through. This whole thing has to be covered.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the other spot you need to do.
Sounds good.
And that's it for your draft stop fire blocking. If you do all that, you're awesome.
Good. I have to relocate a little, move a little.
You'll cut a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I'm just thinking for like, sometimes if you're having like partition wall coming out for like a shower wall, I'll like frame that wall up and just shove it in the corner, and that way when we cut, he can get everything done, and then I'll literally install that wall as he's putting everything in, so he can stub up, vent or anything. So it's not just flopping around. Because otherwise they come in, man. Even Mike comes in and he'll hack that wall up, and you've seen that.
Yeah. So. And now we're using a different nails, remember?
Yep.
So now it's way better.
Yeah,
than
ring
it was.
shank.
Yeah. He's like, are we gonna use these nails for the whole thing? And I'm
Ring
like,
shank,
yeah.
man. Nothing but ring shank.
All right.
Okay.
So the bathroom, small closet.
Yep.
Right here, and then bedroom with the closet over there, access to the sump pump. And I'm gonna make the same thing here, 36-inch high, to make it look like a little shelf.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, it's just funny how it's just unfortunate. I mean, that's just how big that stem wall was over here. Just they went pretty wide on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes in around that.
That's fine. And this, the sign and the blueprint, this wall, it was supposed to be 3-4 inches here.
Okay.
Like pretty much from here, this side. And I have to pretty much put it right
Just
there.
so we're lined up, because this is, yeah.
It was supposed to be out,
Uh-huh.
but we don't have enough.
Enough space for the
we
shower?
don't have enough space. So what I did, I started
pulled
from over
everything
there,
this way.
and I matched perfect right here.
Okay.
So I told the owner that we were gonna, grab
That's fine. This
a bunch
lines
of-
up way better.
Yeah.
So like millwork, doors, and all that's gonna look better
Exactly.
anyway.
It
Yeah.
was a little return.
You're gonna have a
kinda
weird,
crazy.
awkward corner otherwise. Yeah, that's way better. That's way better.
Other than that, everything fit perfect. Everything, it's where it's supposed to be.
Okay. That's gonna get relocated too, right?
We're just gonna
Turn it around.
Turn
Yep.
it in. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no way.
Sideways. So
Okay. Because that's where their stem wall came back, huh?
yeah. And it shows in the blueprint that we have to follow and come out and just continue.
Yep.
So I was thinking to frame sideways and put insulation after we do the frame.
So that's what I'm thinking. The only trick with this is, how did they get away? Okay. How'd they get away with that? We have to be R19 full here. So that's gonna be awkward.
45.
Maybe. We just gotta be able to, if you can keep this and we can put R13 in here, we can frame it pretty tight to this like we've been doing all the way around.
Yeah.
If you take this out, we may have to like foam this because we have to get to an R19 value down here minimum.
And I'm gonna put an access, like an access door.
Okay.
For that.
Yeah, because this is the ERV. You know what this is for? It's just returning circulated air. So these houses are, every mechanical unit in this house is a conditioned space.
Okay.
So everything's completely sealed off. And the way they did these roof systems in America's houses is that even the attic is inside conditioned space. So they're not venting the roof the same way normally. Like they don't have ridge
Okay.
and soffit vent. They have, it's all mechanically vented. So you have literally one vent that's coming out of here, and this system runs a fan that pumps it out. So that's what that is. So they have one for this unit and the one it's in the attic in the second floor. All right, everything else is looking pretty good. We're getting close. Angel, maybe tomorrow you'd be closer? What do you think?
Oh yeah.
What's tomorrow? Friday? I can't remember. What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's
Okay.
I think that tomorrow
Do you
will
want to
be
be
pretty much
done by the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, I think you're dialed in, man. Yeah, I like.
I agree.
Oh yeah, on just the bottom, then wrap 3 sides. Yeah. And then a little piece of trim on the bottom. It's inherently important to walk projects with your team during and throughout the project itself. So here I'm talking with my construction supervisor, Angel, and Angel is very, very adept at lots of building codes. However, there's always something new that's going to come up. And that's why I like to be there with these guys. As professional as they are and as knowledgeable and as skilled as they are, it's so important to talk through projects and walk through things over and over. Because even when you look at a set of plans and then you start putting those plans in action, i.e. starting to build, there are things that come up that don't make sense as far as on-site versus on paper. And there's things that need to be adjusted from time to time as well. So going back to the plans as we're doing here or on any project is inherently important because we need to make adjustments that make sense and we need to make sure that those adjustments don't come into play as far as having to go back to the building department to make those changes, i.e. a structural change, or something that has to change code with one of the systems, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, so forth. So right here, what we're doing is we're actually talking about, there's a detail in this plan, as you can see right there, where there's an unfinished storage room, and the architect does not have us furring out the wall. I didn't like that. I think it's really important that we finish all the framing on all the exterior walls, because I want to dial in all of our R values and completely condition the space. So that's what I'm telling Angel to do here. Yeah, you want to walk? I'll walk this with you. I'll show you exactly what you're going to have in here. You want to see?
Yeah.
So start with bathroom. So fan. And then heat. So heat can probably be on this end, right? And then you have a bath fan. That's done. Okay. Bedroom. Supply was already in here, so you're done.
All right.
Now, let's walk this real quick to see where the other ones are. So you're gonna have a minimum of one out here. There's probably gonna be two. There's one right here.
Probably one in the other side.
And then should be one down here. Generally there is, unless it's gonna get stuck in this. No, I don't see one.
It's just one.
That's interesting, because most of these over here would had two, unless I'm not seeing it off this plenum. I don't see one though. That's interesting. Okay, so he's gonna make a run here. So generally these have two supplies in this main unfinished space. I would say somewhere out here, man, is where you need to go.
This one, right?
Yep.
All right.
That's your supply. And so he's already taken that bay up. So the next bay over is probably your best.
Okay.
The further over on this side of the room, the better for balance, okay? So you'll need one, add one here.
And plus the couch is an L, so I don't know if I want to put it all the way here where the people's gonna be sitting.
Yeah.
Or here where the people's gonna be sitting. So
maybe tuck it closer. You just don't want to have it too close to your bulkhead too, right? Somewhere out here is fine.
right.
Yeah, depending on how they lay out their finished space.
Yeah, I have the blueprint.
If they're gonna do couch over here, up and over, so there's your line set for your AC too. So up and over the line set somewhere in here, and I would just walk the homeowner through how they want to lay out their gym, because that's the one thing you don't want air on when you're working out, especially in the winter time, right? And then you're gonna need return. I would suggest return air on the outside of your mechanical room, just a low return here.
This one.
Yep, somewhere on this wall. Okay, so ask Jorge when he gets here, balance-wise, which side of the room for this one. I kind of like over here, just so it's out. That's my preference. Low return on this wall is ideal. And then, should you do high-low there, or do you stick a return in the bedroom? Cool. That's that. All right, that's it. That's how you do a walkthrough. Like I said, that's my construction supervisor. He runs the projects day to day. It is snowing like crazy out here right now. So I always want to kind of just pick through things that I know are going to come up. You know, codes are changing all the time too, but just as picky as you can get is the key. So you got to obviously know, one, you got to know codes for the IRC, but you also got to know your local codes too, because things can be different depending on where you're at. And in Colorado, it changes dramatically a lot of times because you know, we've got different areas. Mountains versus front range area can be very, very different. And soil conditions for, like, when we're doing basements, you know, as far as what is our float on our wall gonna be. You saw that 2-inch void at the bottom. Sometimes it can be greater than that. You just got to know your local codes too. But you always want to kind of walk through things ahead of getting your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractors in there even too. Once framing is complete, you just want to stay ahead of the game. It's all about organization, and as you saw, that's where we're trying to pick apart anything. Walk through the plans as many times as possible. If you don't know, ask. You know, measure twice, cut once, all that good stuff. So that's how I do my walkthroughs. I'm gonna be back again once we've got most of the mechanical, electrical, plumbing roughs, which is called MEP. Making sure we're dialed in. We've got a few things we want to walk through with the homeowner, as far as like Angel was talking about a little bit ago, where they want some of the runs for their air and for their receptacles for power, all that fun stuff. And we gotta obviously stay with code too, so it's kind of a push and pull. Got any questions, leave them in the comments. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out, please. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Really appreciate it. It helps us out. Make sure you check out the podcast. We just dropped one recently on all of the audio streaming platforms. Hit subscribe on one of those. And we also have the podcast on YouTube. Videos every Monday and Friday afternoons, and sooner than later I'm going to start streaming live on Wednesday afternoons as well for market updates, real estate, and stock. All right, guys, I'm gonna get home because it's starting to get nasty. I will talk to you later.